Yeah, and
You
if
have
Drewbie can
spades.
win that, so I was gonna say if Drewbie can win this game, he will go on to the semifinals, which we're showing tomorrow at 8, and the finals will be showed the next day on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And in this tournament does have a prize pool of $800, 400 going to the winner, 200 to the second place, and then the third place will get $100.
Yes, so continue to follow us, follow our website, follow our Twitter, follow our Ustream accounts, and really this is going to be amazing for the semifinals and finals. I'm very excited to see these players vie for that $400 first prize put up by AlertPay. So we have ROOTdrewbie spawning in the 6 o'clock as the red Terran on Metalopolis. We have VTSpades spawning as the purple Terran in the 9 o'clock uh, on Metalopolis. So we do have VTSpades throwing down his supply depot. Yeah, very standard there. Both players opting not to wall off, as walling off sometimes can get you in trouble with siege tanks, as the siege tanks will be able to take out that door, and then you'll be down a couple supply depots, and you'll have to lift off your barracks as well.
Yeah, no, we could see a long macro game on this map, and I say that because if you look at the natural and then third expansion, it's expanding away from your opponent. So basically, it's easier to defend, it's easier to hold. Um, we do have a short air distance, so I don't know. Will Juby build medevacs? Will he, stay on one base and try and break the lines of spades that way, or will he try and do a fast expansion?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell, as they're both opening with the standard barracks into refinery and probably orbital command on 15. But like you say, this is going to be a really a map and positionings where it's easy to expand, as you are expanding away from your opponent in these close air positions but far ground positions. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what we'll see from Drewbie, as Drewbie has gone for those medevacs 2 games in a row. Will he mix it up? I think he should mix it up, maybe even Banshees, but he's seen that VTSpades always goes for that early Raven, so he might, if he sees that VTSpades is not going for that Raven, that's going to be a signal for him to go for that Banshee harassment.
Yeah, and now the two SCVs are going to see each other in the map, in the middle of the map, but Drewbie will go up and see that his opponent is not in that position, and it looks like neither player really knows where either one is. So we're just kind of waiting to see what they're going to do. It looks like we do have a factory on the way, so we could see a 1-on-1 for Drewbie. Drewbie is building a factory as is Spade, so I think they're both playing safe here.
Yeah, we see both players going for a factor and then getting their second
Yeah,
refinery up.
and an SCV did get shot down by Spades. So that scouting SCV won't get up into the base, or won't get to see what Spades is doing.
Yeah, so Spade's doing a good job to really go out there and try to find that SCV before it could get in anywhere close even to his natural expansion. I mean, ROOTdrewbie has no idea what's going on in the base of Spades, but I think he knows that he's a pretty standard player. He hasn't really gone for anything spectacular. If he's going for that Raven, to prevent from that Banshee harass, he's a pretty safe player, and I think Drewbie knows that, and he might take advantage of that. So it looks like Drewbie just making a tech lab that's going to go for his starport. So I might have been correct in that there will be Banshee, but he has made his second gas and hasn't put even one SCV on that second gas. So maybe not Banshees, maybe a Marine drop here with Hellions to support, with Spades having all of his units at the front, and he's now putting down a command center. He's going to be low on units, and if he can ferry enough units across, he's going to be able to take this game. But no, he's going to be going onto that tech lab, and we do see a Banshee coming out for Drewbie.
Yeah, that Banshee, that there's a Hellion now coming into the base of Spades. It will scout on, see what's happening. It won't see the command center unless it can get up there. It gets shot at, just kind of like it in the last game. It did get one shot off, but it did.
Yeah, that Hellion actually poked up far enough to see that the command center was going down, so Drewbie's going to be licking his chops now, as he is going to be producing that Banshee, but actually a scan going down on Drewbie's base, so Spades continuing to play safe by using that scan to see that Drewbie is going for a tech lab on that starport, most likely Banshee play. So we do have the Raven already out for Spades, so Spades, I guess, playing the same build and Drewbie playing right into his hand.
Yeah, you know, as I see these Terran players play again and again, and I see this 1-1-1, it's similar to. Oh, look, we have a Banshee for Drewbie. It is going to try and make something happen. There is a Raven, though. It looks like the Banshee is trying to get some pot shots off the Marines. Drewbie is microing it very well, taking out a few Marines, but the point defense drone goes down. The Banshee does get out alive for now.
So Drewbie deciding to expand behind this Banshee harassment. He needs to really get out of there, as that Banshee is very low on health. He does not want to lose that Banshee. It's going to give him some map control, but Spades did produce that Viking after that Raven, and he has fended off this Banshee. Will he track it down? I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. I'll just keep my eye on it, but at the meantime, the orbital command is finished, and yes, that Banshee did go down from that Viking, and looks like Spades is going to be lifting off and going for his natural expansion, but ROOTdrewbie did finish his expansion as well, going for double gas on his natural, and he's got it saturated already, so he's a little bit ahead here on the economic game. Both players going for siege mode, as well as getting siege tanks and more SCVs, as well as reactors on their barracks.
Yeah, it's interesting to see these all these Terran vs Terran games, because lately I've seen a lot of Protoss vs Protoss, and it seems to come down to who has the most Colossi, you know, who can get the most out and who can position them in the best way. And so the same, it looks like, you know, this matchup, Terran vs Terran, is just kind of, I mean, it's not new information because it was like that in Brood War, but it's just fascinating to me to learn more about Terran and to see the similarities between the different, you know, mirror matchups, you know?
I think Terran versus Terran has really evolved because, you know, we've seen so many Terran versus Terran games, but they've all been different. I mean, we've seen Banshees, we've seen tanks, we've seen Marines, we've seen Bio, we've seen Medevac play, we've seen Viking play. I mean, the only thing we haven't seen is Ghost and Battle Cruisers, which I would like to see a lot. I mean, let Drewbie should put on a show and go for some Ghosts and go for some nukes. He would throw Spades off, but Spades does have that Raven, so maybe Spades should be going for that Ghost play. But Spades actually going to be throwing down another command center, looking to expand after this. Drewbie actually throwing down a sensor tower, which is very smart, in between the two bases by air.
Yeah, and Drewbie is trying to take control of the Zelaga tower as he sieges his tanks, moves out with the Marine, and does indeed seize that. So in order to get vision, he sees a Marine going to the gold. Spades is just kind of moving his Marine around the map, and yeah, neither player, because of the we've mentioned this so many times, but the positioning, neither player wants to engage the other. You know, they're just kind of building up, they're macroing up, they're you know, they're executing their build, and we don't really see the tension right now that we often do in other games. Drewbie has even erected, like, you said, the sensor tower and 2 missile turrets on the side of his base to make sure, you know, in case drops come. And yeah, it's right now just kind of a waiting game to see who can macro up the best.
Yes, both players posturing at the moment. Spades does have that command center in production, so let's see what we can get from.
Yeah, and you know, Surgeon, I like how you say posture. Surgeon, I like how you say posturing, because it, you know, it isn't bad play to not always be aggressive and not always hack. It's not like they're playing badly because they're not being aggressive and trying to get the advantage. It's like, you know, the samurai movies where the samurai will do like a little move and the other one will do a little move, you know, and but then eventually the sword strike comes and one you know, samurai warrior will come out without, you know, a cut in his neck, or you kind of know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, posturing to get that advantage, you know, to get that positional advantage, to get that army advantage, to get that economic advantage. I mean, it's always about, if you're an army of 2, you want to show that you're an army of 100, and if you're an army of 100, you want to show that you're an army of 2, right? So that's kind of what's going on in this matchup. But I mean, there's so many hard counters. I mean, you can get Marine Marauder and beat tanks in this game. You can beat Thor with Marine Marauder medevac. So
yeah, and,
I'm not,
now Drewbie is trying to deny Spades third. See, he has his own third, which is building, and VTSpades is looking to land that command center.
So while Drewbie moved his forces out to the third expansion, we have Spades actually dropping. He did lose 1 drop chip. He didn't really do too much damage here, I believe. I mean, he should have ran into the mineral line and really tried to snipe some FTVs. But at the same time, Drewbie's trying to get some positional advantage. He does have that Zelmaga tower pretty much to his own, as he does have the map control of the ground. Spades just forced to throw some tanks on his high ground to prevent any reinforcements from really pushing in to his natural expansion. But at the same time, apparently there was a drop in the main by Drewbie on Spades, and one Marine just continuing to be annoying for Spades, and Spades needs to clean this up, and he needs to really focus on doing harassment on Drewbie's side, as Drewbie did finish his second expansion at the 4 o'clock base.
Yeah, these players are harassing each other, but really I think that the tension is where Drewbie's forces are a big red blob up there on the 3rd of Spades. The longer Drewbie's forces are there, the more advantage he'll be getting, like from his income at his own 3rd, which is already up. He's even building a 4th right now. So this is where the tension is. This is where the battle is going to be, because Spades does not want to fall behind in the macro game.
Spades is going to engage Drewbie's army. Drewbie's going to know. Drewbie's going to siege up first. Drewbie's going to go in, but there's too much here from Spades, and Drewbie's going to lose his entire force here. Nice concave there by Spades. Spades is going to take out this entire army. But in the meantime, Drewbie's going to be moving out with his second army that he had. He's going to actually split his armies, and he's going to move one up into the gold expansion, I believe. He's going to try to take this high ground and force Spades to be on the low ground. And that's exactly what he's doing. But while he's... Go ahead.
Yeah, if we look at the income tab, Drewbie has more, about 800 more minerals a minute. And yeah, he's just very confident now, really confident. And if we look at the army tab, Drewbie has 132 versus Spades 129, so he did lose all those units, but he's still looking pretty good.
So I have to mention this again, but Drewbie is going for his upgrades. While I don't believe VTSpades did get any upgrades yet, he only got +1 for his infantry attack, but Drewbie's already getting +2. Drewbie's going to be sieging up here. He does know that VTSpades' army is done. There's going to be huge engagement. Drewbie's tanks were sieged up earlier, and he's going to be able to win this, take out a lot of Spades' army, as he was sieged up first. And he's actually going to come in from behind and flank Spades and take out his entire army. So Spades is in a lot of trouble now. Let's look at the army tab showing that Spades is down 40 supply, 130 to 90, and Drewbie's going to go after this 3rd that is a planetary fortress. So he's going to be forced to siege up and try to take it out. But I mean, I think Drewbie's way ahead, taking his 4th base at the 3 o'clock natural.
Yeah, Drewbie is looking really good in this game. 142 supply to 106. And Spades right now is, I think how is he going to respond to this? Is he going to just try and push in and do all in to even it up again, or really just try and defend his 3rd? I don't know.
Well, he needs to defend this 3rd. He needs to stop this army here from Drewbie, but I don't know if he can with this amount of tanks. He's going to siege up, and there's going to be a battle here. A lot of medevacs as well as Marines here. He's going to just take out all of the units from Spades, and Drewbie's just going to shell this planetary fortress from afar, as well as take his 5th base at the 3 o'clock main, as well as reinforce all of his units.
Drewbie seemingly taking a win fairly easily, and I don't know, if you're Spades right now, you're not feeling good. You know, there's a lot of money on the line. There's $400, and plus just losing the game. You can't feel good to lose 3-0.
Drewbie getting ballsy, seeing that there was only one tank there, and going to be stemming up those Marines, and then moving and sniping that tank. So nice snipe tank there from Drewbie. And Drewbie is really taking advantage of the fact that Spades doesn't have any Vikings on the field, and he just has so many medevacs. He's able to use those Marines to just tank so much damage that it's really unfair when you have that many medevacs and that many Marines with tanks to support that.
Yeah, I think Drewbie is just kind of rallying a final death wish here. His main going past the Manga towers now. He's sieged up. Spades is going to try and break this siege line, but I think these reinforcements are going to be, as many people say, the
So Drewbie moving into the natural expansion, as well as holding his position at the 3rd of Spades, and he's just going to A move right in here, and Spades GG. So what a great series from both of these players. Drewbie coming out on top 3-0 against Spades. This is the AlertCup, put on by QC StarCraft, sponsored by AlertPay.com. My name is The Surgeon. I'm here with Galaxy. We are casting live for the Rush Network.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.